Totally amazing how the home of scientific knowledge, discovery, truth research, and of course, a beautiful Samsung Galaxy S8 since the 1st of January 2K19. I'm going to get to this in just a moment. And again, the voiceover done, of course, in the words of David Attenborough, since it's proving such a popular impersonation. First of all, I want you to feast your eyes on what we have here. A USB computer microscope that is now running off of a computer that was purchased by myself for £20 and is subsequently fixed and running. A fantastic achievement in itself. Here we have our USB microscope attached to a computer and it's running. And clearly we can see on our main visual display unit it's focused on a ruler. In just a moment I'm going to show you something quite remarkable. On our ruler you can clearly see it's marked for centimetres, with 1 being here. This is a hole made in a workbench, and these objects here are pieces of dust, only fractions of a millimetre. This is a human hair. Passed beneath our microscope, as you can see, moving only fractions of a millimetre. Let's get to the problem of what damaged a Galaxy S8. We can keep our ruler here as a reference point for the time being. Now, you may well be able to clearly see on the back there's a crack on the rear glass and a small hole no bigger than the size of a pin. Let's show you how it happened. First of all, I'm actually going to need to put down some paper to protect our screen. So, we can now start to clearly see, sort of get this thing into position. Just trying to find the right position. Never easy when it comes to doing this. Let's just try to get this into a slightly better position. This is not easy given how small scale we're working with. But that thing that you see there, let's zoom in and have a look. That was damage caused by a piece of flying metal. Metal from a weld. Let's just see if we can actually get this thing slightly better. There we can clearly see it in the middle of our screen, roughly. That there is no bigger than the size of a human hair. I've just pulled another two out. Let's try to show you. If I can get that in. My hair, unfortunately, is slightly curly. Clearly, as you can see though, a piece of hot metal, roughly about the size of a human hair, has managed to hit the back of our S8. Dave, this video is definitely dedicated to you and why you need to make sure that your phone is correctly protected. Unfortunately, that crack now extends to the outer regions of the phone. A sad and tragic circumstance caused by a piece of flying hot metal no bigger than maybe the size of a human hair. And if we look at that, clearly we can see the way that the glass has deformed. The impactor here, the glass has become superheated, and the impact of the metal has obviously caused the rest of the glass to be sort of deformed, much like what would happen if you threw a stone in some sand. And glass has a natural fracture point, clearly evident, as we can see here. What we're now looking at is something quite remarkable. This here happens to be a light sensor in the camera, one of the cameras itself. Clearly, this is only on the order of fractions of a millimetre in size. And in here would be all of the necessary photo light sensing equipment, and of course the gold pins it's attached to. Over here is obviously our glass. As you can see, it's only quite thin, maybe on the order of fractions, very fractions of a millimetre. Over here, towards the middle of our screen now, we see something even more remarkable given the size. That's actually our LED light. It's a COB type, and as you can see, there's something flashing away there as well. You may be able to see that if we zoom in. That's obviously inside the light. That's basically it. Still saying it's powered. This is never before seen footage. And if we scroll across a little bit more, we can see how the crack extends to the camera. Now, this is even more remarkable because it's not just one impact. This is also a gash mark caused by flying metal and several other pieces here. Don't be worried about this semicircular affair. That's within inside the camera itself. And this here, we can clearly see, is just a reflection of what's inside. This black region is more than likely another layer of protective glass covering the actual camera unit itself. And clearly, the unfortunate thing is we can see that the metal has made its way through this. This is a problem, sadly, because often when you want to take a photograph, if you had something like a a single strand of human hair. Let's remove another one. If that was covering the lens of your camera, even if we actually have it, we need to very carefully remove another one. If that was just a human hair covering our camera, then of course it's fairly simple that you would be told by an app to clean the camera. Sadly, we can't do that as that's a crack in the screen. Just trying to find a way of showing you this better. There's our human hair. This quite literally gives you an idea of how fragile these things actually are. There's various other pot marks that can clearly be seen. These small ones, however, is just the manufacturing of this particular glass and what's underneath it. And it's not really any damage per se. However, what we can actually see, these things here, is actually damage. Again, something no bigger than roughly the size of a needle would cause that. Here we have the tip of a screwdriver. You can clearly kind of now get a size of the scale we're talking about. Now, unfortunately, there is one more problem. That is, we're sort of able to move our camera to a better position. We can actually see that here we have a secondary crack that has developed. It is actually, you can get in so close. It's actually going to reach out across here. Sadly, this does now mean that rear glass is going to have to be changed. Quite unfortunate. And a vital lesson here in looking after your equipment and your phones. A rather unfortunate outcome, quite clearly. There you are. Quite clearly, you can actually see the damage across the actual camera sensor itself. That's only going to be small silicone. And here, photo sensors as well. More evidence of metal. Here we can clearly see, slightly lower down, more evidence of impact. This was not a situation that was caused by one piece of metal, but probably rather several. However, unfortunately, the one here, we can see it, that is the one that caused the crack. Something no bigger than the size of a human hair. Rather unfortunate, as we can see clearly in the picture. Unfortunately, as well, light here is not ideal. You can try to look at this further, as we can sort of see. Again, clearly showing that where a hot piece of something like steel has hit this, caused the glass to heat around the edge, finally fracturing at the weakest point. That will just be, sadly, the way the natural aspect of that glass has broken. Now, on another kind of slightly different note, I want to show you something even more amazing. Exactly what LCDs look like. There you can see them. Just turn our phone on. Those individual dots that you can see, those are the actual liquid crystals themselves. That's white. There they are in blue. And here they are in red. Various different colours. And you now can get to see how they work. Quite impressive. Now, this is a reason why in certain environments you don't want to be carrying your phone around with you, and why you should always make sure that you have protection there. Again, something no bigger than the size of a needle caused that damage. Something quite possibly only the size of a human hair. But on another note, it actually gives you an insight to the technology of these phones. A remarkable achievement by Samsung as well. It just kind of gives everyone and us an idea of what to expect for the future as technology moves on. As always, I would like to thank you for joining our channel. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, keep smashing that bell, and we'll see you in the next part soon.